I've just interviewed my friend Amy about her daughter's journey with type 1 diabetes. Her daughter Alice was diagnosed at the age of 3. So take a listen. Amy, would you be able to tell us what signs and symptoms Alice was experiencing leading up to her diagnosis?
Hi. So, to be perfectly honest, Alice didn't have any signs or symptoms. It was just through the fact that when I was diagnosed, it started with the flu. So whenever the kids get sick, I would check their sugar levels. So Alice got sick one time just with the normal flu. I think she was about 3. So I checked the sugars and they were 9.6, I think, which is a little bit high for someone who is a non-diabetic.
Was it easy to get Alice diagnosed at the age of 3, being so young?
After this, I took Alice to our GP, who had said pretty much just wait until the normal signs and symptoms show up for them to do any sort of diagnosis. I knew that this wasn't normal for a non-diabetic to be that high, especially someone that young. So I called my specialist, who then organised some screenings and some blood tests done. So this one, they check your C-peptide levels and just how your body responds to glucose. So she also had a glucose test done, which is the same as what you get in your 20-week pregnancy. And all of that data gets sent away and it comes back with a result. So her result came back in the grey area, which means that she wasn't in the clear. So basically it was a case of if, not when. Like, it was definitely going to happen. It was just if it was going to happen straight away or if it could be 10 years down the track. So Alice still has use of her pancreas. We've still managed to keep that pressure off her body by giving her the extra insulin as like a top-up insulin, they call it. So she's still 3 years in and still in the honeymoon phase, so which is amazing. Like, they want to use her data in conferences and whatnot to try and promote awareness of detecting it while they're younger.
What daily care is required to take care of Alice's diabetes?
Daily procedures. Well, you wake up and you test your sugars. It's what you do. So it's a simple prick to the finger which tests the amount of glucose that's in your bloodstream and how much you need, like how much insulin you need to bring your levels back down, or how much glucose you need to bring the levels back up. So Alice has the monitor, which the government now thankfully subsidises. Otherwise it's ridiculous, the price of it. So that continuously checks her sugars every 5 minutes. However, it's not 100% reliable. Like, we're forever getting false alarms and faulty sensors. So we still finger prick prior to every meal. So that's at least 5 times a day for Alice. So each time before she eats, she will need to finger check. We need to carb count her foods. Every single bit of food that goes in her mouth that has carbohydrates in it, we need to count how many carbs are in there, so per serving, and that gets given to Alice 15 minutes prior before she eats. That way, once the glucose hits the bloodstreams, it'll marry up with the insulin that's already there, so it kind of balances. Otherwise, there'd be a bit of a delay in it, which could cause her sugars to go low. So set changes we do every 2 nights. So it doesn't matter where we are. We've always got set changes with us. Without doing these set changes, your skin becomes rejective to it. So it kind of rejects it. The device that's in your body and tries to push it out, which is why we change every 2 days, just to stop abscesses and whatnot from occurring. So this is part of the process of Alice changing a set change. So this happens every 2 nights. The monitor or the pump will alarm to let us know that it's due for a change. So we've got the needle, the cannula itself here. So this one doesn't kink up inside the body, whereas we find the plastic ones do. So we use the metal tips, and then we just put it in, and it sticks, and then we put like an anchor point down, so if the pump does fall, it doesn't pull from the site here, it'll just pull from the anchor point here. And then just when Alice goes for a shower, we just unclip it like that and then plug it back in. And that happens every 2 nights.
Can you tell us some of the challenges you're faced with for Alice's diabetes?
Daily challenges that we face are phenomenal. Like, it's not just the food that goes in your mouth that affects your sugar levels, it's stress, it's sleep, it's dehydration, it's winter, it's summer, it's autumn, it's spring. So you name it and it has some sort of an effect. Recently we couldn't work out why Alice's sugar levels kept on going low. Same time every day, same foods that she was eating, and it was the fact that it's winter and her body was working harder to keep her body warmer. So
if Alice didn't have a monitor, could you tell us what could happen?
there are definitely benefits of having the monitor. There's a, I think it's the Denny Foundation. Their daughter was diagnosed with diabetes and they didn't have the monitor to help track Danny's condition. They woke up one morning and Danny didn't. So that is called the dead in bed syndrome. It's basically just when your sugars go low through the night and your body doesn't, like, you get no alarms, you get no symptoms, and you just, you don't wake up. You've got no glucose in your body feeding your brain to be able to.
Diabetes as a whole has been referred to as a lifestyle or a poor lifestyle and poor diet disease. Can you explain to us what exactly is type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. So basically your body mistakes your healthy cells for foreign invaders and starts attacking itself. So with the diabetes, it attacks its own pancreas and kills off all the cells, and it basically just dies. Type 1 diabetes is a genetic predisposition, or it could be the result of faulty cells in the, I think it's the beta or beta cells in the pancreas. It's definitely not related to eating too much sugar as a child or having too much glucose in your diet. That's not the case. It's an autoimmune disease.